Well, here we are again, week number 2. This is unit number 6. Uh, and this unit is on evaluating outdoor exhibits or outdoor interpretive panels. Outdoor interpretive panels are things like these that you see at national parks and outside and historic sites, things like that. Now, you may or may not have interpretive panels at your museum or at your site. So if you don't, you can kind of review this section and move on with it. But for those of you that do, we evaluate interpretive panels the same way we do most exhibits. The problem is after the panels are done, a panel that size that's 2 feet by 3 feet would be about $4,000. And so you want to evaluate it before you build it, because once it's done, it's going to be there for about 10, 15 years. So for interpretive panels, we want to do pre-testing. We want to find out, because we can do a mock-up. All these panels are done on computer. We can print out the panel, go to Kinko's or go to some print shop, and they can print out a big copy of the panel. And we can take them to the park or the museum or the site where the panel is going to be, and we can do an evaluation of it. We can have people, come up to the panel. We can do a survey. We can have them read the panel, see if there's any questions, see if there's vocabulary words they don't understand. Make sure they understand the graphics, what the graphics really illustrate. And we can see if the panels really begin to work. Now remember, an interpretive panel shouldn't have more than 100 words on it. And that's an important aspect of critiquing it, is if it has too many words and it's too long, people won't read them. People won't read more than 100 words on a panel. The only people that read more than 100 words are experts. They're looking to see if you made any mistakes in the panel. And I'll give you an example of a pretest we did for some panels we did for the Corps of Engineers at one of their dams. They had a great big dam across the river, and underneath the dam, all these birds, all these swifts would nest. They'd migrate, from South America up to Pennsylvania, and they'd make their nests because there's a big lake there, and they spend all day feeding on all the insects and mosquitoes and all the bugs that come out of the lake. So the interpreters there wanted the panel talked about all these birds. And so one of the things that the panel said was they spend all summer here, and then in the fall they go back to winter in Argentina. Well, a lot of the people were asking, well, what state Argentina was in. They thought Argentina was a city or someplace like in Louisiana or Texas. They didn't know Argentina was a country. So sometimes your audiences aren't very good at geography. So that meant for that interpretive panel, we had to go back and we had to add a map. You are here, Pennsylvania, and way down here, South America, is Argentina. So those are some of the things that evaluation pre-testing tells us. We can also do observational studies. We can have the panel up. We can take a stopwatch and time how long it takes people to read the panel. So if we know the panel takes 45 seconds to read all the copy, and they only read it for 15 seconds, then we know that they're not reading all the way through. There's a problem with it. And we can pre-test the photographs, and we can, just by observation, see if people even stop at the panel. They look at it and just keep on going. In other words, that panel and its story isn't relating to people. So go back to the textbook, page 127, 128, 129, 131, and look at the matrix, and think about how you might pre-test or critique an interpretive panel that you might have. So your assignment is to think about what techniques could you use to critique existing interpretive panels. Those are the ones that are already there. But then also maybe think about how you might do pre-testing. If you're going to replace that panel, how you might do a mock-up and how you might pre-test it, a pre-test evaluation before it goes for final fabrication. Because again, an interpretive panel, this is a little one, but a big one, 2 foot by 3 foot, would be about $4,000, and they come with 10, 15-year warranties. So if there's a mistake on it, or if people don't understand it, or they misrepresent what the story is, essentially you spend $4,000 for a mistake. and that's something you don't want to do. So that's why we do pre-test evaluations, especially with panels. So that's it for week number 2. I'll give you quite a bit to do. A lot more coming up with week number 3, where we get you thinking about creating your own evaluation strategies. So I'll see you next week with week number 3. Have a good weekend.